tissues is known as histology. Study of tissues is known as histology. Study of tissues is known as histology. Study of cell is known as cytology. Study of cell is known as cytology, whereas here study of tissue is known as histology. So here we have two types of tissues. We have in the plant tissues. So our topic is plant tissues. So study of tissues is known as histology. So father of histology, Marie Francois Xavier Bichat. Okay, histology. So here Marie Francois, father of histology. Marie Francois. Okay, who is the father of histology? Marie Francois Xavier Bichat. Xavier Bichat. He is the father of histology. Father of histology. But the founder of histology means who coined the term or who has founded Marcelo Malfigi. You have come across about this scientist Marcelo Malfigi. He was the responsible that in the nucleus chromosomes are colored structures which are responsible for cell division. It was said by Marcelo Malfigi. And also Marcelo Malfigi, he described about the circulatory system. Circulatory system. He described about circulatory system, the blood vessels, especially arteries, veins, venlets. So you will study about that. Okay, Marcelo Malfigi. He is the founder of He is the founder of histology. Who is that? Marcelo Malfigi. And who coined the term histology? Mayer. Mayer. What is that? Given the name. Coining the term. What is the term here? Histology. Who is that? So study of tissues is known as histology. Father of histology is the Marie Francois Xavier Bichat. Founder of histology is the Marcelo Malfigi. And who coined the term histology here? All belongs to M only. M. All are M only. And what is meant by tissue? Tissues means group of cells. Group of cells which are similar in structure and similar in function. Okay, you have studied in mitosis and meiosis. Cell will divide continuously, isn't it? Cell will divide continuously. After some progressions, means after the continuous divisions. So 1 will become 2, 2 will become 4, 4 will become 8, 8 will become 16. In that type of, what is that division? Some group of cells which are performing same function, they will group one and they form as tissues. Tissues. Group of cells identical in structure and identical in a function, they will group together and form a group that is known as what? Tissues. Study of tissues is known as histology. Study of tissues is known as histology. So now we are going to discuss about plant tissues. Plant tissues. The very first topic is what? Plant tissues. Okay. So write down these 3 points. Next we will rush into the next topic. So generally you have already studied in your general syllabus, so it becomes revision as well as you can know more and more. So tissues. So here we are dealing about plant tissues. You have studied about four types of tissues. Four types of tissues. That is meristematic tissue. Next, dermal tissue. Next one is vascular tissue. And the last one is ground tissue. So, how many types of tissues we have studied? Four types of tissues. Of these, this is known as permanent tissues. Permanent tissues. Of the meristematic tissue, dermal tissues, vascular tissues, and ground tissues, those are known as permanent tissues because they are non-dividing tissues. Non-dividing, that is why they are known as permanent tissues. Here you have studied already meristematic tissue, nothing but it goes on continuously dividing. That is why it is known as dividing tissue. So, generally, all these tissues, before forming the tissues, they are coming from where? From cells. Previously, they are dividing cells only, but after they have grouped, they lost the capability of dividing. All these tissues are came from where? From cells only. No, one cell will divide two and based they will divide themselves based on their function. Right? After grouping into these tissues, they lost the capability of dividing. Means they won't divide. So that is why they are known as what? Permanent tissue. So we have four types of tissues in the plant kingdom: meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, vascular tissue, ground tissue. Of these four, the three have stopped their dividing. That is nothing but non-dividing tissues. So they are termed as permanent tissues. And other one, meristematic tissue, it continuously divides throughout its period. Okay, throughout its period, it continuously divides and divides. Okay, that is why it is known as meristematic tissue dividing tissue. So make a short note, make it fast. And also these dividing tissues, they are undifferentiated. Undifferentiated means if you see here, undifferentiated. These are differentiated. 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 Different means what? Different means they are not same. They are not same. If you see all the cells in this meristematic tissue, if you observe the cells in the meristematic tissue, you will see them as same only, no differentiation. All cells look alike, do alike. Okay, means perform alike. But here the cells are of different shapes. They perform different. Okay, that is also one more point. Meristem word was coined by K. Nageli. K. Nageli, the scientist K. Nageli. Cells divide continuously. Cells divide continuously. So, meristematic tissue we can say about growth of the plant, which helps for the growth of the plant. Growth of the plant. We can say it as what? Growth of the plant. So, meristematic tissue nothing but continuously dividing. So, if we say continuous divide only, then we show growth. Any living organism which show growth means what? It is the cells are actively undergoing the division. Undergoing the division. So they are always undergoing the division, means they are always young and immature. Once it attains maturity, what happens? They stop dividing. But all cells will divide, no? Divide means what? They are young and immature. Immature means not getting old. If we become old, we stop the growth, right? But the meristem cells are young and immature. So how they are? They may be cuboidal shape, isodiametric in shape, or polyhedral in shape. Small, they are the small. Small nothing but young. Here I mentioned the word. What is that young? So why I mentioned cell wall? Because it is a plant cell, right? So plant cell, these are not single cell. This is what group. It is a tissue, group of cells. You see, if you see any cell, it is looking like same, right? So this is outermost layer, outermost membrane, outermost layer or outermost membrane of any plant cell is the cell wall. Inside the cell wall, what is present? Cytoplasm. And this is what? Nucleus. Are you seeing any space between cell and cell? No, they are tightly packed. They are tightly packed. Tightly packed. So abundant cytoplasm. Cell wall is present, nucleus is present, isn't it? Next. Nucleus, you can see nucleus. Very big. Nucleus is big. We can say nucleus big and prominent. So cells divide continuously. These are the characteristics of a meristematic cells. The cells which are present in the meristematic tissue. Cells are all alike. They have cell wall. They are tightly packed. They are young and immature. They show active metabolism. Continuously they will divide, which helps for the growth of the plant body. Which tissue helps for the growth of the plant body? Meristematic tissue. They are very small. Okay, tightly packed, and they have thin cell walls. We can say thin cell walls. Very very important part. What is that? Thin cell walls. Yes, make a note. Next topic is types of meristems. Types of meristems. Types. So first is based on origin. Means how they have been formed. So based on origin. Origin means source. How they have been formed. So to what they have been developed like that. So based on the origin, first one is primary meristems. Primary meristems. So these meristems are formed from the embryonic stage. Embryonic stage. Embryonic what? From what is that? Pollen grains, right? pollen grains, when they fuse with the ova, isn't it? Ovule. We can say what? Ovule. Pollen grain plus ovule. It form what? Embryo. After formation of embryo only it will divide, no? Continuously it will divide. So from the embryonic stage, when the groups are formed, the first formed tissue is the primary meristem. Means they act from the embryo stage to till the death of the plant, they perform what? Growing only. Understand? So what happens during fertilization? Pollen grain fuses with the ovule and form embryo. So when the embryo has been formed, the embryo will continuously divide. So it forms a group. At the time, which group is formed? Primary meristem. Their function is to divide. Means what? From embryo stage itself, their function is what? Dividing only until the death. Continuously they will divide only. That is known as what? Primary meristems. Means since the embryonic stage, they are dividing only. They are from the embryonic stage, they divide continuously. So those are known as what? Primary meristems. Next are secondary meristems. Secondary meristems means after formation of groups of tissues. Okay. So primary meristems, they continuously divide. But some groups of meristems, they does not undergo any division. They stop at some time and they differentiate into permanent tissues. Okay, you have studied now how many types of tissues? We have 4 types of tissues. One is meristematic tissue. So from the embryo itself only all tissues are formed. Okay, so first tissue is formed is the what is that? Primary tissue. And after some group of cells, they stop dividing and they form into other different tissues like vascular tissue, ground tissue. Okay, so that type of tissues are known as what? Secondary meristems. So I can say you another way. Okay, for example, the vascular tissue is present. It is a permanent tissue. Okay, we will take an example of vascular tissue. Vascular tissue, it is you have studied. What is that? It is helpful for the conduction of water and minerals, isn't it? And food materials. Vascular tissue. If you take the history of vascular tissue, they have formed from where? From meristematic tissue only. Which type of meristematic tissue? Secondary meristematic tissue. So from the embryo, all cells are formed. They grouped and formed tissue. One tissue remained like that only. Divided tissue has been like that only. Their function is to what? Divide and divide. But other groups, they have changed into permanent tissues that are known as secondary meristematic tissue. So from embryonic stage, from ES nothing but embryonic stage, they are differentiated into permanent tissues. Such type of meristems are known as secondary meristems. Hope you understand. If you take the example of ground tissue only, ground tissue is formed from which tissue? Meristematic tissue. Which type of meristematic tissue? Secondary meristematic tissue. Make a short note first. So primary meristematic tissue, you will see the tips of roots, shoots, etc. Here you will see that this is cambium, core, etc. Next one is based on their position. So based on their position. So at which position they are present indicates their type of meristem. For example, okay, so in that based on their position, meristematic tissue. Okay, so first one is apical meristem. Apical meristem. Apical nothing but apex, tips, tips. We can say what? Tips, apical parts. Apical parts nothing but tips. Tips. For example, root tip, shoot tip, they are present in the tips. If we cut the tips, they will grow by side. Okay, tips. So, what is the main function of apical meristem? Growth in height, length. Next, lateral meristems. Lateral nothing but sides. So if you take a plant, you will observe growth in all the direction. One is you will see in the height, one you will see in the sides, branches. Isn't it? Branches you will see, lateral meristem. If you see the growth in the sides, that meristem is known as lateral meristems. Okay, so sides. Next one, intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem. Intercalary means in between nodes. Between nodes. You will see. Between nodes, what you will see? Sometimes flowers will come, birds will come, fruits will come. Isn't it? So between the nodes. For example, if this is so this is what apical meristem AM. So sides it is known as what lateral meristem LM. So in between this is known as what intercalary meristem.